Hi, it's Miss Heather from Conservatory of the Ozarks. And I'm not at Conservatory of the Ozarks right now. I'm at my house. I just got done teaching a little bit ago. And so I wanted to do a video this month, like a vision board review for my 2020 vision board. And it's almost the end of January, so I guess I better go ahead and do it. So I love making vision boards, and I know they can be, I don't know, sometimes a little bit weird, kind of, because they can get a little hocus pocusy. But I just think they're really fun to make, and I don't know about all the law of attraction and all that stuff really, but I actually started making them in scrapbooks when I was a teenager. I heard the idea somewhere like that, just putting pictures of the things that you want can help you solidify your goals and your dreams and your hopes. And so I started making them as a teenager. I think, I have a pretty, I guess, artistic sort of temperament or personality. So that was really appealing to me. And I have those somewhere still now. But I think I looked at them when I was moving, and I think I had like that I wanted to have my own music studio and things like that on there. I'll have to look at those one day to review. But it is funny. I don't know if there's like, if you watch some videos about vision boards, it's like it's some kind of magical thing. I don't know if I believe in all that or not, but if it is, that's great. But I just enjoy it, and I think, I've heard people explain it like, if you make a vision board, it's kind of like, I bought a white Kia Forte a few years ago, and ever since then, I just see white Kia Fortes everywhere I go, every parking lot, every street I drive down, and it's kind of like that with a vision board. If you have in your head what you want and what your goals are, you can, instead of focusing and seeing all around you all the things that are wrong, you can start to see the things that are right, and it can help you feel happier about your life, and because you can start to notice how things are happening. The other thing is, I think it's so easy to go through life and not actually know what you want. When I was 18, my cousin Sherry got me to start selling Avon. And I went to one conference when I was selling Avon, when I was an Avon lady, and they said this one phrase that I always have remembered, and probably you've heard it before, but you don't want to work hard to climb the ladder of success only to find out that that ladder is leaning against the wrong building. And I thought, wow, that is very good advice. So I think it's important to know what you want, because if you don't know what you want for sure, how are you going to get it if you don't even know what it is? So anyways, I do think it's fun to make a vision board each year. And I kind of, this year, did a little bit more research about it, like the difference between a mood board, which I also like making, and a vision board. And I think my vision boards have tended not to be so focused. Like this year I tried following the rules a little bit more, only picking 9 things, because your brain will get overwhelmed if you have so many things. And I usually do. I have so many things I want, I guess. But I was just thinking back about last year, this, 1 year ago, when I was making this vision board that I'm going to look at right now. And it was a really weird experience to make my 2021 vision board, because usually the things that I want are such big things. I usually am wishing for these like big dreams. If I told you all of the things that I dream of having in my life, you would just laugh. Like, I have such big things that I want. And probably none of them are possible or realistic, but that doesn't stop me from dreaming about them. And then this year was so weird. because I felt like I was just wishing for such small things. And normally when I wish for the big things, it seems like, well, sure, that's possible. I don't know how, but it's possible. But it's so weird because this year I'm wishing for these tiny little things and they seem really impossible. It's a very strange thing. Like, I don't know for sure how I was feeling at the end of last year or the beginning of last year when I was making my 2020 vision board. Because I didn't do a video about it, I don't think. I wasn't really doing these like personal videos till COVID hit. So that's kind of too bad. I wish I'd been doing them all along because then I would know how I was thinking and feeling. But what I remember is that I felt really happy about the new year. I thought 2020 was going to be this great year. I thought it was going to be the year that everything came together, like all my goals for my business kind of came together and my personal life, and like it was great. What I was hoping for was that we would hit our goals at the conservatory for 300 students, which would mean everything was okay. We could pay all of our bills just fine. I could pay my assistant, and my assistant would be done with her training, and I would have free time because I wouldn't be having to do the administrative stuff at the conservatory because my assistant would know how to do it, and I wouldn't have the stress of wondering if the conservatory could pay its bills because the money was doing okay, and I could just focus on teaching my students and living my personal life, and then I would get engaged, and then I could have this really happy, joyful time of planning my wedding. And I just took for granted, like, of course, my family will all be happy and healthy, and it'll just be wonderful. My relationship will be doing great, and that was what I was hoping for in 2020. And so let's look at my vision board right here. So it's huge. I don't remember what size this frame is, but I'm sitting down here. You can see if I'm sitting, it's like almost as tall as I am. So I went to a vision boarding party. It was so fun. But they only gave this tiny little board. And so I was like, are you kidding me? There's no way I can fit my vision board on that. My vision is way bigger than that, 8 by 10 inches. And so I just found this one picture of a tree that I really liked. And I always like to start my vision board by picking a word of the year. I love images and visual things, but I also love words. And I usually end up making this big long list of words, and just like all the words I can think of that seem inspiring to me that year that could kind of encapsulate what I want to do that year. And I finally will pick one, the one that seems best, and I picked grow. And I actually had done a bunch of work before the vision board party. I'd cut out tons of stuff out of magazines and been thinking about my word of the year and all that, I think. And so I don't remember if I had already cut the words out with my Cricut or not. But anyway, so that was what I made at the vision board party. And then I just brought everything home and kept working on it at home. And it took me, a long time because everything I do just takes me forever to finish. I just get way too involved and I can't do it fast for some reason. But I did do better this year. And so I ended up making like different categories. So let's see, maybe we could start here. Let me switch. So this was like, you can see here the words, my wellness goals. So I put for health and wellness, I want to feel joyful, I want to feel pretty, I want to journal and think and learn, make time for journaling, make time for planning, reflecting every day and every week, make time for gratitude, make time to enjoy nature, time in nature, make time to enjoy time in nature, make time to rest and relax, choose to feel joyful every day, live healthier in 2020, spend time outdoors, meditate, yoga, relax, Mani Pedis. There's a sticker for Mani Pedis. Cardio. Think happy thoughts. I had the sticker from my happy planner, beautiful minds inspire others. I love that quote. How we spend our days is how we spend our lives. Feel healthy. Feel beautiful. And remember to stay balanced. So I didn't want to really have a goal of like lose so many pounds or get to this dress size or something like that. I wanted to think of feeling healthy, and feeling happy in my body. And I do need to lose weight. My doctor has let me know that. So that is a goal. But I think if I lost weight, I would feel healthy, hopefully. And the thing is, I've lost weight before, and sometimes it's just so easy to get wrapped up in losing weight that that's your goal. Being healthy isn't the goal, and maybe you lose weight, but you're not really going to healthy, or you're doing things that are not healthy and that don't feel very nice. And it can kind of mess with your head. It's really funny if you look up descriptions for eating disorders and then you look up advice for following a diet successfully to lose weight. It is crazy how much overlap there is between the two. And so I think it's really easy to, if you focus on losing weight, to just get to a kind of a bad place mentally. And that feeling of like that happy, healthy feeling isn't there. And what's the point? Like if you're super skinny, but you don't feel happy and you don't feel healthy and you feel bad about yourself still, and in your mind you're just torturing yourself. That just wasn't what I wanted. So interestingly, I actually have done a lot of these things. I hadn't journaled regularly for a while. I hadn't made time for that, and I started doing that this year, and that has been great. I don't know why I kind of stopped for a few years. Well, no, I do know why, because I felt so busy and stressed, like I didn't have time for it. And then this last year, I did feel like I had time for it, and I felt like it helped me because I was having such a hard time with everything. It helped me feel better. And I did have, time to relax and feel calm during the shutdown for COVID, which actually I kind of loved the shutdown in a lot of ways. Like it was very scary because I didn't know what was going to happen to my business. But the experience of everything going slow and being able to stay home, I was like, oh, I kind of like this. This is nice. Not rushing around everywhere. It did make me feel mentally more healthy. And I did lose weight, I'm down 30 pounds almost, like I think 28 pounds, I guess, from my highest weight ever. But I think I lost some of that in 2019. It's so slow. You'd think with how much weight I need to lose to be at a healthy weight that it would be easy, but it's just not. Part of my problem is I haven't been able to really work out because I was working out so much. I developed really bad knee pain and then had to stop exercising, and then I gained weight. So I've been focusing on exercises that don't really burn like a lot of calories or anything. They aren't going to get you ripped, but they are helping me feel better, like kind of physical therapy and yoga exercises. So that's been nice. Then my relationship goals. Those are my friends Katie and Alyssa. And I put down that I would hope to celebrate our birthdays together. And we did that for the most part. And be a super supportive bridesmaid for my friend Katie. And I did my best to do that. I hope I succeeded. Celebrate Galentine's Day. Oh, that was a smashing success. We had an amazing Galentine's Day. Oh my goodness. We are so ridiculous when we are together doing fancy things like that. I think everybody who saw us, like at the restaurant we went to, thought we were just so extra and so crazy. Um, work together to make the conservatory more amazing, and to feel supported, and to feel important. That's a really big thing for me. I've noticed over the past few years, to feel that I'm important and that I matter. That is important to me, to feel important. And to feel, you know what I mean? Like to feel like I'm of significance to the people in my life, and I guess to the world too. Oh, and I put get fit for Katie's wedding. Didn't really do that. And with how the conservatory thought it was going to close, I mean, I'm not as close with my friends now, so that's kind of sad, but I don't know, that would be kind of like a half and half, kind of like the fitness one. It's not like I still have all the same pains that I was having in my knees and joints, but I did start going to physical therapy as often as I can afford it. I can't go very often because it's so expensive, but I've looked up videos on YouTube a lot and found exercises and done the exercises they showed me. So it's like the health and wellness, kind of half and half. Moving here, I've been able to go outside more often because we have the trail right in our backyard. So in 2020, I did make more time for nature and just exercising and things like that. But 2021, I haven't as much because I have to be at work all the time training my new assistant. So I guess for 2020, the health and wellness goals went pretty well, really. Money goals, oh my goodness. So that's a picture of my student Nicole, who I really like, and I find her so inspiring because she has 5 kids she homeschools, but she still makes time to do voice and piano and songwriting. She really practices and performs at different events pretty faithfully. So I just put her because seeing her makes me feel happy and inspired. And then she's holding this trophy that says the best places to work, because I want the conservatory to be like this really great place to work for all the teachers who work there. And another thing that says people and purpose, because that's what I hope for the conservatory. I hope for it to be full of people and for people to feel a purpose, you know, for their lives and for their artistic development while they're there. And I put be brave, because you have to be brave if you own your own business. And I wanted to be brave enough to make any risky choices I needed to make. And I put, you know, like I said, 300 students. I put the word earn, because I think that's a really good word. Like I want to earn, you know, my place legitimately as like a worthwhile business that contributes to our society. And I put these darts in this dartboard with like dollar bills, you know, because the whole point of having a business is that it makes money. And to feel free, wouldn't that be wonderful? So like I said, I was hoping to have free time because I would have help and support from my assistant, and to feel free, like that we had money to pay our bills and we didn't have to feel worried about it. That one, none of these really came out how I would have thought. And I had hoped to be able to stop paying studio fees. So, you know, if you've been watching any of my COVID videos, you know, all the teachers at the conservatory pay studio fees, and I always have had to as well. And my goal was, you know, I used to have to pay studio fees plus extra every month. And then I was able to not have to pay extra. So that was the first goal, to only pay studio fees, no extra. And then the next one was to have an assistant I could pay. And then the next one was to have the assistant and also be able to not have to pay studio fees. Because basically me paying studio fees just means I could make more money if I closed the conservatory and taught out of my house. Because then I could keep all my money that I make from teaching. So that's always kind of been this big goal, that the conservatory, that I can make as much money teaching at the conservatory as I could if I just was teaching out of my house for free. And that I could have as much free time as I could if I was just teaching by myself, because normally I had to do hours and hours and hours of work for free for the conservatory because we couldn't afford to pay for a full-time administrator. So my goals were like have the administrator in place so I have free time, and any work that's happening, somebody's getting paid to do that work, because it's not sustainable for me to be doing it for free. Like, what if I got in a car wreck and couldn't do it for 6 months, you know? And same with studio fees. Not only would it be nice for me for the conservatory not to be a financial burden for me, but like, what if I couldn't pay them anymore? Like, what happens then? That's not very stable. So I thought that 2020 would be the year that, those goals would finally all be in place. And that hopefully we would get all the way to 300 students. We never have quite got past 300 students. But, of course, we had the shutdown, and then we thought, after a while, we thought we were going to have to close. So we took a hit, and then we took another hit in our enrollment. And, I think we got down to like 10 students, because I kind of did get the goal of not paying studio fees anymore, because when I thought the conservatory was going to close, we bought this house. And this house has a bigger mortgage payment because I couldn't have taught out of my old house. And so I was like, well, I don't have to pay studio fees because the conservatory is closing, so I'll pay for this mortgage instead. And whenever the conservatory was able to stay open because we got donations, I was like, well, it's going to have to stay open without my studio fees because I can't pay them anymore. I've already made this financial commitment to my mortgage payment. So I guess in a way I kind of met the goal of not paying studio fees, but that was not the way I thought it would happen at all. And then I lost my assistant and I got a new assistant, but then she wasn't able to keep doing it because of some really sad things in her family that were happening. And so now I'm training my new assistant, and I have less free time, than I have in a really long time, like when I first was starting. Same with the number of students. It's like less than we had. I think my first month open, the first full month, I knew I had to get 20 students because that way I could pay the rent, which was $1,000, and I was just charging $50 a student, and I got all 20 students by the end of the month. But now, like, if you don't count my students, because they're not contributing studio fees anymore to the conservatory, since I can't do that anymore, it's like we were down, like I say, maybe between 10 and 15 students after most of the teachers with the bigger studios left when we thought we were going to close. And then starting over, that's like nothing, and then no assistant, so starting over there too. So I don't know, at the end of 2020, I guess I did meet the goal of not paying studio fees anymore, but I still don't know if the conservatory is going to be able to stay open. So I definitely didn't reach the 300 student goal. Like, opposite of that, it shrunk from nearly 200 down to almost nothing. So my vision board failed me for that. I'd have to say. So that's a shame. I don't know, at least that's what it seems like. And then I guess we haven't reached the end of the story yet, so who knows. But then down here, my homie goals. And I put a baby grand piano because I wanted to get a baby grand piano, and I sold my little console that I didn't like that much. And I put room upgrade and feel cozy. I just love feeling nice, happy, cozy feelings. I put feel happy, and I put the word Huga, that is from that book, the little book of Huga. I love that book. It's so cozy and nice. And I put plant some flowers, do what you love. I put some succulents, and I put pictures of closets I really like, and a chandelier, and a chair I really liked. And I put, what if you weren't busy cleaning? I put, find a great new housekeeper this year. I did find a housekeeper, and that did free me up a little bit in my personal life, so that when I have my few hours of unscheduled time a week, I don't have to spend all of those hours doing chores around my house, or else living in a disgusting pile of awfulness. So that was definitely nice. The crazy thing is, I mean, this one really did happen for me. Like, we were living in this house from the 1950s, which we really liked. This cute little mid-century ranch house. And it was not in a great neighborhood, but excuse me, not a terrible neighborhood, not great, just like middle of the road, maybe on the lower end of middle of the road. And so I'll just tell you, because whatever, my life is like an open book these days. But I think the house we got for maybe like high 80,000s, something like that. And it was very similar to the other houses, you know, on the street. And COVID happened, and Robbie and I were going for a walk like we like to do, and we noticed that our neighbor had a house for sale one door up from us. And Robbie, of course, had to look and see how much it was for sale for. And he was like, oh my goodness, this house is for sale for, I forget, 140 something. And it's sold above asking in like 2 days or something like that. And I was like, what? That can't be right, because it looks very similar to our house. And so I was like, we better like look into this. So called our realtor Amy, and she came, and I thought she'd be like, oh, well, the reason that house sold for that much was because, you know, it has all these things your house doesn't have, and your house wouldn't be able to do that. But I was like, I mean, that's a lot more than we paid for this house. We at least got to look into this, you know. And so she came, and she's like, yeah, you probably could sell this for around similar price, 130s, 140s, something like that. And I was like, that's a lot of money to make in one fell swoop. I didn't want to move, though. I really liked our house, and it was like perfectly customized. Robbie built all these shelves for everything to be exactly organized how I wanted, and it was so great. But I mean, you can't turn down that kind of an opportunity. So we put our house for sale, and that was a whole huge amount of work, you know. Staged it, put a bunch of our stuff in storage, and search for a house. That part was the really hard part, because it's kind of easier to sell right now, but it's harder to get a house. And we kept having houses fall through, and then we finally found this house. And the only reason we got this was because Robbie just was scouring the internet every day, and we were the first ones to get here and the first ones to make an offer. And this house was the best one we looked at, and it was not the most expensive one we looked at. So I was so happy those other deals fell through when we finally got to this one, which was our fourth offer we made on a house. And this house is not like the house you would expect us to move into after living in that other house we were living in. This is like at least 2 or 3 steps away from that house. The neighborhood is much nicer. For Robbie and I both, this is like by far the nicest house either of us have ever lived in. And the way it worked out, since we just split the mortgage between the two of us, he's basically paying the same mortgage he was before. And I'm paying like half the studio fees I was before. So, and we have a house that's way bigger. And if this conservatory does have to close, I have space to move it into my basement like I was planning when we bought the house. And we have room to have a baby after we get married this year. And we're room for a workout room for a gift wrapping room where I can keep all the gifts. I have all these gifts that I collect all year for my students, so I can give Christmas gifts, you know. And I really want to start giving birthday gifts if I can ever get myself organized. I would love to do that, to give all my students a birthday gift every year. I think that would be so fun. And of course, I also have niece and nephews. But anyways, I can keep all of those things nice and neat and organized. And there's also storage space, because there's not really storage space at the conservatory, so I can keep all of our seasonal recital decorations nice and neat here, and in it easier. I can get to it more easily, or one day I will be able to if I ever can finish unpacking. And so, man, that one, I didn't want to move. That was not a goal. I didn't want a bigger, better house. But it just happened. And Robbie, because he is a veteran, he can have the VA loan and doesn't have to have a down payment. So we were able to use the profit that we made to pay down a bunch of my debt that I got into trying to keep the conservatory afloat during COVID. So that was really wonderful. So really, I mean, I entered 2021 in a way better financial situation with a way better house than I ever would have imagined. So that is kind of crazy. Like it wasn't even, it was bigger than what I was thinking of with my vision board. And then this is, oh, and the nature trail and the creek in the backyard. I mean, those are a dream come true for me. I just love being able to go for a walk in the woods. I've never been able to do that easily in my life. So I just don't know how this house worked out for us. It's like God or the universe, I don't know what everybody believes out there, but just handed it to us on a silver platter, like it was just waiting for us. I still am like kind of scratching my head over that whole thing a little bit, because I've never heard of somebody, and when we put our house on the market, once we finally had an offer accepted on this house, we had 48 hours to get our house under contract because our realtor Amy wouldn't let us list it until we had an accepted contract on a house, because otherwise she was afraid we would be homeless. And so we put our house on the market that afternoon, and it sold in like 3 hours. So, I mean, crazy. I've never heard of a story like that. I can't believe it happened to me. I'm so grateful, though, that it did for whatever reason. But here's my relationship goals. My Robbie goals. Robbie was mad that I had relationship goals for my friends and goals for my work, but I didn't have a Robbie goals section. So that's what this part is. My love goals. I put travel more, take the road less traveled, go on weekend trips, dance classes, a perfect proposal with a diamond ring, engagement ring, a 1-carat princess cut engagement ring. Wow, so specific. Movie nights, and I put lots of treats, brunch, a bicycle, c'est la vie. Couple goals were date night each month, take a few road trips this year, an elegant engagement party. So Robbie and I did get engaged, actually, like right here, almost right where I'm sitting. He proposed to me the day that we bought this house, and we walked in for the first time. I was so shocked. And I didn't get a 1-carat princess cut engagement ring. So I really like these stones called morganites. They're pink and they are with rose gold usually. And I loved those when we were shopping, but they kept saying don't get those because they're softer than a diamond. So if you wear it every day, it'll get scratched because it's not hard enough for everyday wear. And I was kind of sad because I really liked them, but a pink diamond, like, is not, probably not on the horizon for Robbie and I, because they're very expensive. But I told Robbie, well, just get a proposal ring, like a placeholder ring, and not something super cheap, like something nice enough that you would want to wear it and maybe like pass it on to your kids one day, but not like thousands of dollars, more like hundreds of dollars. And just use that, and then maybe we can get the perfect ring later, because I hadn't found it yet and we didn't have money yet because we hadn't, got paid from the house yet, so we thought we'd use that money for the ring. So he gave me that ring, and I love that ring, and I was looking around to find, that perfect dream ring that I wanted. We'd set aside $3,000 for that, but I don't know, I was looking at them. And one of the other teachers at the conservatory, one of the new ones, she has a morganite engagement ring, and she wears it every day, and it's fine. So I was like, maybe I'll just keep this ring and use that $3,000 to pay off a little bit more debt. And that's what I did. So now there's no more ring money. But, I just felt more excited to pay the debt off than to have some other diamond ring. I mean, who really cares? I have this beautiful ring from my grandma that I love, and it, I'm wearing it right now because my other ring had to have a repair done on it. So I probably already have enough diamonds in my life, and maybe I'll get that dream ring one day later. It's like kind of the least of my worries right now. Didn't have our engagement party, but we did plan it still in 2020, I think. Hopefully we're going to have it next month. And I don't know how elegant it will be. because COVID, you can't have a lot of people over and can't get a good venue. And we can't really afford it. We're on our own to pay for the wedding. So can't afford a whole lot because they're expensive. Not that we're super poor or anything, but weddings and things like that, they're just so expensive. So this one did come pretty true. I mean, we didn't get to really travel that much. We went on a few trips with my brother, but they weren't really like romantic trips. They were just family trips. Take time to enjoy every season. We did go on monthly date nights, except for a couple when Robbie dropped the ball and did not plan his date night when it was his turn. So that was too bad. But for the most part, we went on a monthly date night, and we had to do some of them at home, during COVID. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. I was wishing to do that again this year, but didn't plan it. Oh, I go to farmer's market. Dance class. We were supposed to take a dance class. That was one of Robbie's Valentine's Day gifts I gave him, was a gift certificate for that. But that got canceled because Valentine's Day was right before the shutdown. So we didn't get to do that yet, but I hope we can. So that one came pretty true for me. And then family. Oops, hold on. This is not supposed to be there. That's like a random sticker. So family goals down here. So I put have a family reunion, because I remember having family reunions when I was a kid before my grandfather died, and I don't remember one in forever. So I have these cousins who I used to see all the time. I haven't seen them forever. I was like, that would be so fun. So I was messaging some people about doing a family reunion, but then COVID definitely put a damper on that, so that has not happened. I put go on vacations. We did go on family trips, like I said, and family boating, did that. My cousin Sherry gave my brother their old boat, and we've had a lot of fun going out on Table Rock Lake with it. It's not, a fancy boat. It's just this old pontoon from maybe the 80s or something, but it's so fun. We don't need a yacht or something. Just something to go out there and hang out, spend time together, let the kids go swimming in the lake. That's been really fun. It's really relaxing and beautiful. Birthdays, we did celebrate our birthdays together. Family meals, had plenty of those. I can't read what that says. Oh, celebrate holidays. Well, yeah, obviously we did that. Remember to make time for family. Create meaningful memories, plan a very special gift or event for Mom and Dad's 40th anniversary. Man, I really dropped the ball on that one. I had started trying to plan it, but I don't know, COVID just really, you couldn't get a venue this year. So that was really sad. And this was us visiting my grandma for her special 89th birthday party. So that one really did come true, I guess. So yeah, a lot of it happened for me, which is really nice. Oh, and tea parties, that was on my vision board. And we did get to have, my friends and I, we had tea several times. It was really fun. I didn't get to have like a full-on tea party like I'd like to, except for with my niece, Azalee, and my sister-in-law, Michelle. We got to do that one time. It was really fun. And it was a take-home tea party because that was during COVID. I mean, it's still during COVID now, but that was back when you couldn't even go to a restaurant. So just take-home tea party. It was really fun. This year, though, I'll have to walk everybody through my digital vision board I made for this year. But I was trying to think of my word of the year for this year, and I was like, my goals for this year are just like, I wish my dad wouldn't die because he has cancer. And I wish I wouldn't lose my business because I don't know how it's going to keep going after losing so much ground last year. And I wish I could unpack everything so I could like make sense of my house I'm living in. And I wish I had an assistant who could help me so I have a little bit of free time again, because right now, like, it just feels like all I do is work. And I was hoping to have this happy, joyful time of planning my wedding right now, but it doesn't feel like that at all. I just feel really stressed about my work, hoping that my business won't close in a couple months. And I feel really worried about my dad. He met with his oncologist for the first time today, and his cancer is a 4 out of 4. And it's super aggressive, it's metastasized, and it's not curable, but he's going to do treatment, chemotherapy, and maybe radiation, and hopefully slow the growth of it. So we might have 1 to 3 years left, it sounds like. So that's what I mean when I say I'm wishing for like such tiny things. I'm wishing for things just to stay normal. Like I just want my, family to all be alive and healthy and not dying. And I just want my business, my work to stay the same. I don't even care if there's 300 students. I just don't want it to close. I just want it to have enough money to keep going. And I'm going into work like at 9 a.m. every day right now to train my new assistant. And then I start teaching. So I'm there till 7 when I finish teaching. So basically all I do is work. And then I come home and try to work on wedding stuff for a couple hours. And I'm exhausted. It's not fun to work on it because I'm so tired. I just don't even enjoy it. And that is really sad. And I'm just hoping that my dad will be alive for my wedding. So, and I'm hoping I can find a venue because it's really hard with COVID. It's hard to find a place where you can have a wedding with more than like 30 people, but you still have to pay. Like you can rent this giant cathedral where you can normally have like 200 people, and it's the same price as it would be for 200 people, but now you can only have like 30 people there. So like I said, we're on our own for the wedding, so we're hoping to only spend $5,000 on it, and we're hoping to have $5,000 saved in time for it. So we'll see how that goes. It seems like for $5,000 you can maybe have a cake and a wedding dress. That's about it. Maybe have somebody take your picture with their cell phone. So, not the dream wedding I was hoping for, and not the circumstances. But I'm still really thankful, that I'm getting married, and thankful my dad hopefully will be alive for like at least a year. And that it isn't like weeks to live, because some people get that diagnosis and that would be so horrible. So, but that's what I mean about like wishing for tiny things. Like I just want things to be like they were at the beginning of 2020. Just like nobody in my family was going to die that year. And I didn't think my business was going to be closing that year. And those are not big things to wish for. They were just like my normal life before. But instead of being these big dreams that seem like impossible, they're these tiny things. But they seem even more impossible than like my biggest dreams. Because like everybody's going to die. Like you're going to lose your parents someday probably. Like it happens to almost everybody. So you can't stop that from happening. You can't control that. So it was weird to like think about making my vision board for this year. It's like, what do I want? Don't want my dad to die. Like, how do you put that on your vision board? And it seems like a silly thing to wish for, because if your body is just riddled with cancer and you're in your 70s, like, you're probably going to die. And even if that weren't the case, your dad's going to die someday probably. And so that's not really something to wish for, I guess, because it's not possible. So I don't know what to think about that. And I don't know what's going to happen with the conservatory. I was so grateful because somebody donated to our GoFundMe again finally, and I'm hoping we'll have enough money to stay open for a few more months, because like part of me just really wants to throw in the towel and just close it and just move into my house and not have to keep working so hard to keep it going, because at least I would have more free time and I could focus on planning my wedding and spending time with my dad, which is what I'm trying to really make time for right now, even though I don't feel like I have any extra time to do anything extra. But the conservatory is really doing well right now. Like, we've got some really great new teachers, some great new pianos, better than we used to have, actually. And I mean, we're still short a little bit. We need more pianos, but really great, like doing really great. And people are calling and signing up. We signed up a bunch of new people this month, but it's not enough yet. And I just don't know if we're going to have enough growth fast enough to make up for our lost ground to where we can be, you know, solvent before we run out of our donation money that is keeping us afloat for the last 6 months. So, yeah, I don't know. Shoot, I thought I could get through this video without crying. I just can't do a personal video without crying lately. I don't know if I'm like just overly sensitive and overly emotional, or like I always have a pity party for myself or something, but it feels to me like I'm going through a lot right now. So I'm just trying to manage it the best I can. It's tough. And Robbie, you know, he has PTSD and trying to cope with that too. So it's a lot. Anyways, I hope everybody has a happy 2021. And if you've made a vision board, you should post it in the comments below so I can see a picture of it, because I would be really curious. I love looking at pictures of other people's vision boards. And I did a vision board party at my house this year. It was so fun, but I didn't even come close to finishing mine. And I only got to see like 2 people's finished ones, so I didn't get to see very many this year. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. I'll show my vision board for this year, maybe in a different video a little bit later on. Bye for now.